Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Gathering More Leaves. I'm your host, David M. DeBacker, and I've decided to do one more episode on the Pickering Papers. Decided to do, I guess this would be part 6. And in the first episode of the series, I talked about how we found my great-great-grandmother, or at least connected her to a family in Pennsylvania, first by finding a single line in a book published, I think it was published in the 1890s, on the history of Susquehanna County, Pennsylvania. And then we later confirmed this connection to the Pickering family with DNA. I realized that I hadn't brought it full circle because I left off in Mendon, Massachusetts, and I didn't quite finish the story. There is the family of Jotham Pickering, who married his first cousin, Alice Pickering. Jotham was the son of Jonathan Pickering, and Alice was the daughter of Edward Pickering Jr. And they moved to Susquehanna County in the 1790s. So in the years following the Revolutionary War, I found a book. The book is entitled Commemorative Biographical Record of Northeastern Pennsylvania, including the counties of Susquehanna, Wayne, Pike, and Monroe. And in that book, on page 494, there is a section on the Pickering family. And I thought I need to add this in because it sort of brings things full circle. And I'll just read this. Few, if any, families in Susquehanna County are more truly representative of the early pioneer years than the Pickerings. In 1795, two brothers, Jotham and Phineas Pickering, left their home in Mendon, Massachusetts, and settled in the wilderness in what is now New Milford Township. In 1796, they removed to what is now Gibson Township. Okay, so I'm gonna find, and I'm gonna bring up, show you on the map, but it's in northeastern Pennsylvania, close to the New York state border, and I think Bingham is north of this, and Scranton is to the south of where this is. So Jotham Pickering with his wife, and it says here Alcy, but in most places her name is spelled Alice, and family located in the wilderness to a 100-acre tract now known as the Ira Washburn Farm between Smiley and Kennedy Hill. I located Kennedy Hill on the map, and it is between Gibson Township and then Gillette Hollow. I'm not sure exactly how that's pronounced, Gillette Hollow, and that is also where some of the Pickerings lived. I believe that's where Corbett Pickering, my ancestor, who's the son of Jotham. So Jotham changed his location in order to be near the family of Captain Potter, the only other settler in the locality at the time, who had located near Kennedy Hill, the first portion of the township to be occupied, in order that by uniting the two families, school advantages for the children might be obtained. There were no mills nearer than Wilkes Bar. Wolves at night filled the surrounding forest with echoing howls, and piercing screeches of the prowling panther were often heard. Jotham had served as a soldier in the Revolutionary War. If you recall from the previous episode, I found that Jotham, when he was 18 years old, had gone to the Massachusetts militia and served. This was in 1778, and served in what was known as the Rhode Island Service, which was Massachusetts militia who had been sent down to Rhode Island to try to break this siege that was going on between the British, and then also the French Navy had actually gotten involved in that. By trade, he was a carpenter. After his migration to Gibson Township, he remained there until his death, which occurred in 1809. So he died, like it says here, when he was about 50 years of age. And he was buried in a private cemetery in Gibson Township. So now I've been going to find a grave, and I'm trying to locate graves in Massachusetts and in Pennsylvania, and so far I've not had any luck. Continuing, it says he had 5 sons and 4 daughters as follows. Henry, who migrated to New Hope, Brown County, Ohio. John, a farmer and sawmill owner of Nicholson Township. Preserved, who is mentioned below. Now, here's another. So one of Jotham's children was named after his uncle, who was named Preserved. His uncle or his brother? His brother, who was named Preserved. Okay, so then Corbett, who's my ancestor, my great grandfather. It says he was born in 1797, and he married Tamar Denny, who was the daughter of John Denny, who was also a Revolutionary War veteran. And it says here that he died in Gibson Township. So that's all that's in here about Corbett. Just that one line there. Nothing about his children. In 1876, Potter, who died in Glenwood, Leah, wife of William Tripp. So one of the daughters was named Leah, and they lived in Gibson. Mrs. Aiden Kramer, so one of the daughters married a man named Kramer and lived in Clifford Township. Nabby Ann, so one of the daughters was named Nabby Ann, who was the wife of Henry Miller of Gibson. And then another daughter named Polly, who was the wife of James Waterman of Mount Pleasant in Wayne County. I assume that's also in Pennsylvania. So then it goes on to talk about Phineas Pickering, the brother of Jotham. He settled in Jalot Hollow, where he died. Okay, so I recall reading someplace else where Corbett had gone to Jalot Hollow because he had a relative living there, and so I guess that relative was Phineas Pickering. And this Phineas had 3 sons: Augustus, Jotham, who died at Starruca on November 24th, 1899. So it was a nephew named Jotham. And John B., and then 3 daughters: Flora, wife of Jones, Isabel. Oh, that's the last name, Isabel. Sophia, wife of Henry Barriger, and Almira Ann, who was Mrs. George. Okay, so then it has more on Preserved Pickering. And so it says, Preserved Pickering, son of Jotham and Alcy Pickering, was born in Mendon, Massachusetts, August 29th, 1795. So he was born just before they left Mendon. And he was brought by his parents to Susquehanna County in infancy and was reared in Gibson Township, becoming a farmer and a carpenter. His farm was situated not far from the present home of George H. Pickering. And then on December the 24th, 1818, he married Miss Alma Whitney, and they began married life on the old farm. I guess it says there in 1829, moving to the farm now owned by his grandson, Henry D. Pickering. He died March 24th, 1866, aged 71 years old. His wife, who was born July 26, 1796, died in 1876, aged 80 years. Their remains being interred in Union Hill Cemetery. So here's another cemetery that's mentioned. So that's a clue that I should go and look there. And that's in the Gibson Township. and both were consistent members of the Presbyterian Church. Mr. Pickering was a Republican in political sentiment. To preserved and Anna Pickering were born 7 children. I'm going to stop here because it's getting into details. It's sort of going off onto another line that here's that information in case somebody's looking for it. It's in this book. And then it goes on to talk about another branch of the Pickerings under George H. And then I see the name Henry D. These are all names that I'm not familiar with. Anyway, so that's really all that I had to add, the information that was found here. And I sort of did another pass at searching in Google Books, and I haven't found anything. I was not able to find any more information. So anyway, if you, like I said before, if you like this episode and you like this series, then be sure to hit the like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.